How we doing today, folks? My name is Raven, and today we are taking a first look at a new game in development called Century: Age of Ashes. Their second closed beta just finished up on March 21st, and that one lasted 1 week. I did not get a chance to play in the first one because I heard about this game after that test. My initial reactions were that the gameplay was smooth, combat felt great, and overall I had a fun experience playing a game genre that I haven't touched in a very long time. The game's description on Steam is as follows. Century: Age of Ashes is a free-to-play multiplayer dragon battle game. Master a growing roster of classes and dragons, compete in intense arena battles, and rule the skies in fast-paced aerial combats. Following that up, the release date shown on Steam is April of 2021. Now, after playing Century: Age of Ashes, I have to say that I am impressed. This is a fresh take on the classic genre of dogfighting games. Now, what I mean by that, if you're unfamiliar with the term, is aerial combat games. A few examples of this genre include Tom Clancy's Hawks, Combat Flight Simulator 3, or the more recent Star Wars Squadrons. Now, what sets this apart from those is obviously the dragons. Movement feels more natural because you're flying a creature, not a machine. Combat is more fluid, with cutting corners around rocks and buildings. I found myself lost in flight when I was playing the free fly mode. Fireballs and fire breath go hand in hand with missiles and machine guns, but then you don't have the clutter of a busy HUD with gauges and numbers. You just have the essentials, being your health, attacks, and abilities. We were able to play 3 game modes in the beta: Team Deathmatch, which they called Carnage, Gates of Fire, which was capture the flag, then fly it through, it was like 9 gates or something, and then Skirmish, which was a 3v3 Team Deathmatch mode. There was another game mode that wasn't playable. I don't remember the name of it exactly, but it was basically Team Deathmatch with 3 teams instead of 2. Also, to mention, in Gates of Fire, the flag runner could only fly. They could not use any abilities or attack. The game features classes of characters that have their own unique dragon to accompany them. Or some may say that's the other way around, considering your character doesn't do much other than look cool and guide your fiery steed. Although that's not entirely true because there is a weapon in the game called the Drake Piercer, but we'll get to that later. There were 3 classes in the test I played: Marauder, Windguard, and Phantom. I personally enjoyed playing Phantom the most, which is a majority of the gameplay you're seeing now. I do have a game as the Marauder in here as well. Each class had their special ability and then the option to pick between 2 secondary abilities. The Marauder has the aggressive "I'm the Alpha Dragon, you can't escape me" feel. The special ability allows you to hunt down one target and launch unlimited fireballs at them with reduced damage. The hunt lasts about 12 seconds or so, and if you successfully kill the target, you get the ability back immediately. The secondaries included Frost Bolts to slow your target's movement and deal heavy shield damage, or you had the option of taking Gust, which destroyed any fireballs that were locked onto you. That ability had 2 charges. The Windguard was the support class. The special ability allowed you to almost instantaneously fly to a friendly dragon, shielding both of you and healing slightly, also reducing the cooldown on your fireballs. The secondaries included a Poison Trail, which released an enormous AoE smoke cloud that damaged enemies and disabled targeting of friendlies, or Blast, which was a projectile that could be fired then reactivated to let out an enormous shockwave, and I mean quite an enormous shockwave, knocking enemy dragons aside and dealing slight damage. You could also blast them into a wall and they hit the wall and they go splat and get dealt damage that way too. The Phantom is the stealthy assassin class. The special ability allows you to go invisible for a short time, then the next fireball shot deals bonus damage. The secondaries include a mine that can be shot to terrain and remain in place for 3 minutes, then obviously dealing damage to an enemy that passes it, or you had the option of Blast again. Each class had its own strengths, and overall I think they were very powerful, although I seem to struggle in some games, but that's probably due to the fact that I solo queued most of the time. You were able to have a full party of 6 in this test. Gates of Fire was certainly the worst because it was objective based and not just team deathmatch. Although I have to say that I really enjoyed the game mode, Gates of Fire that is. There were a few times where I was able to fly through every gate in one run and win the round. Snaking through the terrain and buildings made it fun and rather satisfying when you do actually win the game. Touching on the dragons again and talking about kind of their strengths, a good Marauder player would be able to reuse the special hunt ability over and over again, avoiding fireballs with Gust and being shielded by fellow Windguards. If you ran 3 Windguards on the other hand, then it was just constant poison smoke clouds up, which you had to avoid because it disabled targeting and it damaged you. Mix that with a coordinated team, and you really couldn't do anything. This was especially strong, I found, in Gates of Fire. A team that was clicking made it a very short game. Poison clouds and shielding the flag runner was annoying to say the least. And when you had people trying to just play team deathmatch and not playing around the flag, you could see how the game mode ended quickly. Phantom made it easy when you were being chased and needed to lose aggro. Going pretty much completely invisible in a fast-paced game like this made escaping easy. Then combo that with an empowered fireball of stealth, followed by 2 others, and then fire breath, and you could pretty much instantly kill someone. If not exactly instantly kill someone. Downside being the stealth had a very long cooldown compared to the other class abilities, and a Marauder that had Gust Up would easily destroy your empowered fireball. Touching real quick on the game mode Carnage, there were 2 buffs that appeared during a game. The Drake Piercer, as mentioned before, had a set time that it would spawn at. This was a spear that could instantly kill someone as long as you were locked on. I only ever saw maybe 2 of these in a match, and it was in a spot right in the middle of the map. You fly up to it, and the first person to grab it gets it. The other buff was called Berserk, and in order to get that, you had to get the killing blow on a special glowing dragon that would fly around the map. This only spawned after a certain amount of kills overall. I only ever saw 2 of these as well in a match. This buff gave you increased shields and damage for a short duration. If you had either of these buffs on, then everyone in the game could see that. There was also a bounty system in play where it could go up to a max of 6 stacks, which again painted a target on you, and I believe it gave you more points for a kill, but I know it definitely gave you more points if you kill someone with a high bounty. I didn't fully understand the mechanic, but it seemed pretty simple. There was also a cosmetic system implemented. You can unlock cosmetic items through leveling up or purchasing them from the store. There was also a section for hatching. This sounds pretty obvious because you hatch an egg there. Half of the XP you earned from a completed game goes to your egg, and once it receives enough of the XP, it hatches into a dragon that you can use. These were again unlocked by leveling up or purchasing from the store. And just to clarify, you did not have the option to spend real money on this playtest. And, as well, it was all cosmetic. None of the changes to your character or the dragon gave you any buffs or negatives. Touching on the movement quick again, you had the option of playing keyboard and mouse or using a controller. After playing around with both, I personally found the controller easier to use and it felt better to me. With the mouse, I really had to drag it around my mouse pad, which is rather small, so in order to make sharp turns effectively, I struggled a little bit. Although there were times in the beta where I saw people pull off some crazy fast 180-degree turns. I mean, I'm talking like in a split second. And every time I tried, it would take like a minimum of 2 seconds for me to pull it off. There was only one control for air braking, so I tried to play around with it for a while. I either still have a lot to learn or there's some trick to it that I'm missing. So like I said, April 2021 is the current release date for the game, Century, Age of Ashes, according to Steam. And you should look forward to me putting out some content when it does. It's refreshing to play a style of game like this, and it's not stressful like playing ranked Valorant or something. Anyways, take care everyone, and I'll catch you guys later.